Hello, foxes. Hello, hello, hello. Gather up, my foxy troops. And while we're gathering up, I'm gonna light some incense and settle into my chair over here and switch gears because it's been a little bit hectic and a little bit foggy. It's been an interesting day. When I get ready for this sessions and I do my makeup, I also end up listening to Kabbalah lectures in Hebrew, and it's pretty fascinating. So my brain goes to a certain space, and sometimes it's kind of harder to come down from that space and hang out and be able to talk coherently. But anyways, I know I can see that we have one viewer, which is awesome. Welcome, one viewer. Not anymore. The viewer disappeared. Let's see. We are going to... Oh, here is my Shelby. I truly can start now. Hi guys. Thank you for joining me. Oh, baby is watching me too. Hey, baby. So... welcome to the daily draw with me, Madam Nadia. If you would like to get more information about readings, divinations, to learn how to read and so forth, thank you, Shelby, visit me at madamnadia.com, or you can always hit me up in a message on Facebook and it will equally work out for you. Thank you so much for sharing this video, for liking it, for letting people know about it. It means the world to me and I truly appreciate it. Today we are dealing with a fascinating name from the 72 names, and for those of you who don't know what I do daily draws with a deck that is called 72 name cards made by Orna Ben Shoshan. Thank you. I had to do a little bit of a red lip today. I don't know. It kind of asked for it. Thank you, Shelby. So I read with a deck, and this is the interpretation booklet. If you're interested in the specific approach or this deck, or you're just wondering what the fuck I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. So today's vibration is very juicy. Thank you. Love the hearts. Is absolutely juicy, and I think it's especially going to be of interest to those of us who are interested in fortune telling, in divination, in necromancy, in those sort of arts, because this combination is specifically empowering our spirit, our mind, and tunes us into that vibration. And let me show you the card and the letter combination. Okay, so this is our card for today, and the letters are Aleph, Nun, Yud. Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet. Aleph, Nun, Yud. Hey Angel, what's up? Thank you for joining us. And hello Jaslyn, thank you for joining us. So I just started talking to everybody about today's draw. Today's draw is extremely powerful in matters of divination, in all kinds of matters of prediction, and it can be relating to connecting to your higher self, to connecting to your client's higher self, to foresee events that's coming up in the future. And it can be as potent as connecting to other dimensions, other dimensional beings, and your ancestors. So just in general, if you want to hone that skill, if you want to get better in your divination, if you want to be able to tune in into this sort of vibration easier and feel stronger and empowered, remember that this is not just a card, okay? This is not just a pretty picture. This is a holy sound and a holy combination, which is one of the Hashem names. Hashem in itself, the word that I'm referring to, the highest divine, means the name. And these cards have permutations of 72 of the names of the greatest mystery. And this happens to be one of them. By the way, the gematria value of this is 61, for those who are interested or might be doing something with that. So if you, at any point, but today especially, because this vibration is very, very strong today. So if you want to work with developing your skills of divination, if you want to work with developing your skills connecting to the ancestors, and it can be anything, guys. It can be from really being able to predict better. It can be feeling more comfortable in your own self to connect to those other things. You can do that. Or if you just sort of want to petition the divine and say, you know what, this is an interest of mine. And we're, of course, you know, getting closer to the period of resolutions for 2017. So that might be another thing. You know, if you want to write a resolution or you want to work with a resolution, you can include Aleph, Nun, Yud in a petition, because this in itself is a vehicle for liberation. This in itself is a mystical mantra, if you will. It's a mystical, powerful root that can alleviate your abilities to a much grander, powerful level. I agree with you, Jocelyn. This is not just sounds. It's pretty amazing. So I really suggest, if you guys are going to be working with it, I'm super curious to see how it's going to work for you, because as you know, we all have different gifts and talents and sets of tools that we already use. So some of us are really good at predicting predictive readings, right? Reading the future for clients. Some of us are much better at connecting to ancestors and misas, for instance, or whatnot. Some of us are channels and can channel spirit guides. So I'm very curious to see, you know, to hear where you guys starting from. And it doesn't matter. We all start somewhere. And where this could bring you to. Now, I want to tell you something very interesting about this particular combination. So again, the letters that we're working with, and listen to me, let it sort of revibrate through your being so you can use it for you. Aleph, Nun, Yud. Aleph, Nun, Yud. Aleph, Nun, Yud. Now, a lot of times when we're using this, to me, as somebody who is fluent in Hebrew, it seems like a completely randomized combination of letters. In fact, I think Megan 2 days ago asked about the meaning, and I said there is no meaning. It's kind of like bija mantras in Sanskrit. They have no meaning, but there is a meaning if you work with it and your being opens up to the wisdom of this combination. This specific one, however, the combination of these letters in Hebrew sound ani. Ani means me or I am. So for instance, ani Nadia would say I am Nadia. Very simple. So this combination has something, to me, very personal, right? We had a day where we had very Venusian vibe, we had some Scorpionic vibe. This, if you will, would be first house vibe. Hey Megan, I just mentioned you're going to be a rich woman. I just said that a couple of days ago you asked me a question, what was the meaning of the combination of letters, and I said that in itself it does not have really a meaning, and it's like a bija mantra in Sanskrit, but if you work with it, it becomes meaningful. Now today we're dealing with a combination that empowers our psyche to be able to predict, to foresee, and to connect to different realms and dimensions. And the letters are Aleph, Nun, Yud. But actually, this is not just a combination of letters, Aleph, Nun, Yud. It happens to be a word in Hebrew. So you guys just got smarter, and I taught you a word in Hebrew. And you'll take being a rich woman too. Okay, that's right. So this is ani, which means I, or I am, or me. So as I said in Hebrew, if I want to say I am Nadia, I would say ani Nadia. Ani Nadia, okay? So this has a very first house, very personal power to it. And you guys, let's not keep the personal power just to ourselves. Let's share with everybody. Hey, Christopher, what's up, beautiful? So you guys, take this opportunity, hit that share button, give me some likes, some hearts, some whatever it is, because everybody deserves to get a little bit of this wisdom, especially today, because most of our friends, right, are either diviners or spiritual workers or what have you. Are you in Aruba right now? I just want to know, because I've been driving this morning. I've been driving Miss Eva to school, and it was 0 fucking degrees, people. 0 degrees, right? Okay, so thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kelvin. I appreciate the love. I really, really appreciate it. And please do share it with other people. It means a lot to me, and it gives me the fuel to keep wanting to do this. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I love seeing your face here, baby. I do. So let's get back. We're talking about extremely powerful combination of the name. And we're working with Aleph, Nun, and Yud. And this can be used as a focal point of your meditation. It can be, you can listen to it, you can write it. When you write it, you can rearrange the letters, okay? You can even go as far as rearranging these letters and seeing how it affects your psyche. You know what else you can do? Here's a little working for you, if you will. You can write it. If you keep your cards in a box, let's say this happens to be an instance from Japan, but let's say I wanted to use this as a box for my cards, just because I'm not gonna be pulling out the box at the moment. I could use this and write that here. I could write the letters Aleph, Nun, Yud, and it would do two very, very powerful things. First of all, if you write it in a ritualistic manner, it could create a container that's augmented and blessed to contain very deep spiritual meaning. This is one. Two, remember that this is Aleph, Nun, Yud, is also a word in Hebrew which means ani, I am. Okay, so now when you do these two things, you also, when you're putting this here, you are creating a bond and a link between your tool, this container, and this container and your higher self. So of course, we're not just gonna, I mean, you can practice writing ani, and what I will do is that I will write it again and I will put the picture out there for you guys because it seems to be helpful. But what you can do is that you can create a little ritual, you know, set a light, say a prayer, invoke the Hashem, invoke the divine in any shape or form that you see it, or the spirits, your spirit guides, your ancestors, whoever is connected in your understanding to, hi Lina, whoever is connected in your understanding to spiritual development, especially when you are very welcome, Megan, especially when we're talking about prophecy, about the ability to prophesy, if you will, about the ability to foresee the future and ability to share the future. Now, I'm going to take it a notch down and become a little bit more practical about this card. This card, on a more mundane level, talks about need and ability in perspective. Meaning, by working with Aleph, Nun, Yud, and just because we drew it today, it emphasizes the fact that we are dealing with perspectives, and perspective is important. Okay? So today we are giving the ability, thank you, my love. Thank you for the hearts. I really, really, really appreciate them. They make me very, very happy. So thank you. So whether it is that you need to take a couple of steps back to see the whole picture, because maybe this is the situation, maybe you feel in the thick of it, maybe things are confusing, maybe there's too many opinions, too many cooks, too many hookers, I don't know. So maybe you need to take a couple of steps back, or maybe you just have very, very clear perspective on what's going on. On the other hand, it might be your ability to zoom in on a single point, because this is what needs to be done, because there is a lot of noise and a lot of factors, but you need to zoom in and to focus on one thing in order to achieve your goal, whatever needs to be done today. So it's your decision, or obviously it's your experience. What is happening to you today? Do you need to be able to focus on one task and perform it perfectly? Or is there too much going on and you need to take a step and look at what's going on and figure out what the situation really is to get the right perspective? So this is another thing about Aleph Nun Yud. Hi Derice, thank you for joining me. We're talking about the power of Aleph Nun Yud and the extremely high and potent vibration about this specific draw and this specific name of God in our ability to read the future, for prophecy, for making predictions, as well as seeing the perspective, seeing what's going on around us, or being able to focus on one specific thing and fully understand it or attend to it or make something happen. So we're talking about these things. Now, what I really want to bring this teaching to, okay, and this is something that I'm sharing from my personal experience as a senior diviner, if you will, because I've been reading cards for more than 20 years. I come from a family of people that treat cards, and this is one of my biggest passions in life, is fortune telling in different shapes or forms. And as I always say, I can spit on the ground and read your future. That's the truth, though. So, you know, somebody got to do it. But going back to this, right? Because we can improve no matter where we're at. There is something happens usually in the readings, and it's something that the younger or the less experienced readers have especially an issue with. And even the more mature ones, you know, it really, when we develop our personality, we develop our style and so forth. Thank you, darling. I try to be as amazing as I possibly can. Thank you. Mwah. We got to talk about this Mariah collection in Mac, but I'm totally talking about the wrong stuff right now, okay? I just couldn't help myself. So there's something that happens when we read cards, when we start reading cards, or in situations that are difficult, right? When we are reading for people and either their situation is difficult, or perhaps what we see in the card is difficult. And we have to make a decision about what we're going to say. And the young readers, inexperienced readers, and readers who don't have a lot of clients always go to the same sort of place. And that place is like, shit, I better make it sound pretty. I better deliver the news in a nicer way, right? Mariah's, the spirit of Mariah is upon us today, guys. So here you are, here's a situation, somebody is asking you a question, let's say, they're coming to you and they're crying, they're saying, oh my goodness, I'm worried I'm gonna lose my job. And you look into the cards and you're like, the bitch is gonna lose her job, right? So this is a moment of truth. What is the ethical situation? What is the ethical solution? Everything depends on you. We all have slightly different ethics. It depends on the environment that you're reading it. Maybe if it's a bachelorette party, it's going to be different than if the person comes to you to get a reading and an advice and maybe spiritual working. But a lot of younger readers will try to make it pretty. And they will sort of shift what they see a little bit. And they will give a person an answer that is not true. And a lot of people do that, and I'll be completely honest, because they want their clients to come back. Clients often come and they have a certain answer in their head that they want to hear. And they'll be fighting you for it. Like you'll be saying, no, hon, this is not a good job for you, or this something is about to shift and end, and they'll be fighting with you, even though they understand that this is a potential situation. Right? I agree with you, Christopher. Give it to me. There is a way to give it, right? There is a way to communicate. And some of us are more blessed than others with communicating and understanding dynamics of conversation. But that does not change, you know, you can understand the dynamics of a conversation, you can be a less good of a reader, but it helps definitely to deliver those news. So, you know, so what happens is that people want to get their clients back, they don't want to upset, people don't like confrontation, and so they deliver a response that's not necessarily true. It's sugar-coated. And sometimes it's sugar-coated to a point where it's not true. And if your client is actually taking your reading seriously and your advice seriously, then they're going to take this information and going to do something about it. Now, we can have a whole discussion about what is our personal wheels, what is it called? Destiny versus fate versus free will, right? But we're not going to do it right now. What I'm saying is that when somebody comes to you and gives you presents to you a situation, and you open your cards, you throw your bones, you do your geomancy, whatever it is, and you see something, if you're a respectable reader and they are a distant client, that they expect to pay you to receive information and to do something with this information. If you don't give them the information, they cannot make those decisions appropriately. So even if they have 5% chance to change something about that job, you just took it away. Or even if there was no chance to change it, maybe they can prepare it. Maybe it can be a financial, monetary thing. Maybe they can start looking for another job. Or maybe it can be just a mind thing, you know, like, okay, I understand that in January there's going to be some changes, and I have to be prepared for that. This is sometimes the most you can give a client, right? And you guys agree with me. Not that you're there to help, not to sugarcoat, right? Christopher, and the same thing with Shelby and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just hard. Sometimes it's just hard to say what you see. So why am I talking about that? Besides the fact that I don't even know if it's a teaching per se. What I'm trying to bring something to you for you to meditate and think on. And if you have a spiritual practice, if you read for people, whether it's for money or if it's for free, just for fun, you understand that you're dealing with something very, very sensitive, and it can be very powerful, or it can be very, very harmful if you don't navigate that. So I really want you to meditate on that power that you have when you hold cards, when you lay down cards, when you talk to people about their future. It's very, very important. And we all have, as I said, we are, you know, maybe we have basic ideas sort of the same, like thou shalt not kill, and even that is arguable. Some people look at this differently. But as a reader, especially when you start on that path, but also as you grow on that path, and we always are growing, hopefully, it's important to ask yourself, what am I, you know, who am I, what am I doing it for, why am I doing it, what are my ethics, and adjust that. And our life experience will teach us different things, and we will change according to our life experiences, hopefully. But no matter what happens, I want you to keep your ethics and your morals in check in a healthy and good way. So you know when a situation happens, it might not be easy, but it will be easier for you to decide how you're going to respond. And I also want to tell you that you can take this, right, this combination of letters, because it's much higher than just opening our ability to see the future, or it augmenting our ability to talk to the ancestors and bring down our spirit guides or whatnot. It also has a moral code, deep moral code in it. And I want you to meditate on it. I want you to look into it. I want you to hear it. And because these are Aleph, Nun, Yud that also says Ani, which means I am, it makes it so personal. And you can encode this into your petition, that you want to grow as a diviner, and you want to be a kick-ass, amazing fucking diviner, and you want to be 99.9% right, but also that your heart and your ethics are in the right place, as well as your brain and your tongue. That you can communicate clearly, that you understand the situation, that you give your clients information that can truly benefit them. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. When I read for people, and it took many, many, many years for me to get that, I know enough to create a certain type of membrane between me and that person. Meaning there is exchange of information, and I can spiritually uplift and inspire and teach this person. But I'm not taking this shit personally. This is not my information. This is not a test of my performance either. This is their information. This is their knowledge. This is for them. I am going to be responsible for that moment of reading when we have this exchange. I'm going to be 100% on it. But when they go, it's their business. And I'm not, absolutely fucking not, going to attach my ego to that. I'm just the messenger. I'm a mouthpiece with some life experience. What they do with it, it's their business. So that membrane is going to allow me to deliver the information ethically. But it also will allow me not to attach myself and hence think that because they became successful after my reading, it has anything to do with me. Or if they're suffering and they're crying, it has anything to do with me. This is their life. My ego is not going to be fed by that, because we have ethics in place, and this is a type of checks and balances. So before I finish up, and I'm going to take questions if you guys have questions or comments or anything of that nature, I want to say that in addition to asking for perspective or asking to focus if you have issues of focus, or doing some work around deepening your skills, when you work with the letters Aleph, Nun, Yud, I also want you to tune in into that sort of vibration of the Hashem, where truth, morals, ethics is at play, and also your role within that. And we can argue about it, we can talk about it, we can see it very differently as people and as readers and diviners, and it's a very interesting exchange and conversation. But what's important to me is that you take some time and create self-awareness to understand within you, what kind of diviner are you? What kind of guide are you? What's important to you in your life? What's right and what's wrong when it comes to very sticky situations? And also, it's a beautiful thing when you understand when you are uncomfortable in readings, because you can improve it. And it's also a beautiful thing to understand who you are uncomfortable with, because sometimes it's a matter of improving, and sometimes it's a matter of allowing your spiritual guides in the universe to remove a certain type of clients because they're leeches to you, and bring to you the ones that are gonna be good for you and you can really benefit them. Because it's really, you know, when we do this kind of work, it's like me, you know, doing this, it's important to me to know that I'm not just sitting here and taking my time and having this conversation with myself, that there are people who listen and are gonna take it to heart. The same thing with your clients. You wanna, as much as you don't wanna be attached to that outcome, you also want to see that there is a difference, so that they're listening to you and they're not going to you and then to 10 other different people and whatnot. I mean, some people are okay with that. I would not be, but again, it's a personal thing, and you will not know what is personally right or true to you unless you sit with your ani, with your I am, right? Until you sit there and you do some homework about who you are and how you function and how you do things, right? So I hope this was meaningful to you guys. Today we talked about the vibration of Aleph Nun Yud, Ani, I am, about working and ritualizing around this specific combination to increase your abilities to tap into the future, tap into different realms and so forth. Also about today's challenges or needs to focus on perspective, or maybe to work on being able to focus in general and focus on one specific thing. You're very, very welcome. And about morals and ethics in spirituality, in spiritual work and fortune telling. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I gotta finish up. Is there any questions or anything you want to say? That's awesome. Again, I really, really, really am grateful to you for taking the time and watching it. I'm even more grateful to you for thinking about it, and that is true to whoever is tuned in now and will be tuned in the future. And again, madamnadia.com if you need reading consultation, life coaching, if you need me to kick your ass. No, I'm just kidding. But you will get that, and you are welcome, Marsha. Can you say how to? What are we, how to what? Can I say how to spell or how to find these letters? Yes. What I will do, what I've been doing recently on these videos, is I will post the picture of this, and then I will also make a video of how I actually write it, so you guys can do it yourself. How would you guide someone who is just starting out with a desire to develop? You can actually start meditating on this. Absolutely serious. This is, as I said before, this is not just a combination of letters, and this is not just a card. This is one of the 72 names of the Hashem, which is God. So just by focusing on this combination, on the sounds of the letters, Aleph, Nun, Yud, in this case, Ani, I am, hearing it, looking at it, writing it, rearranging it, putting it on different items, it's already a powerful thing. You can actually take a picture, or you can use this specific picture of this card and put in your altar. You can use this card or these letters on one side and write a petition on the other. And of course, even better, you can come to me and get some sessions, and I can teach you, because I've been doing it for a while. Anything else, you guys? I need to go. You know where I'm going now? I'm going into the cold weather. It's probably like 2 degrees out, to get Miss Eva back from school. Wonderful. Thank you, Lena. I'm happy that it's helpful. Please, you guys, take the time to hit that share button. It means a lot to me, because I want to know that I'm sitting and hanging out with you, and you guys do me a favor and share it with everyone you know, and tell them that you had fun. Love you guys. May the blessings of the highest divine of the Hashem be with you. May your decisions be ethical, but not that difficult. You know, we all need a little bit of easy in our lives. And do share with me if you practice these, if you do that, if you meditate on it. I'm really, really, really interested to hear how it works for you. So let's have a discussion, because Nadia, you know. Oh, thank you, Christopher. You're amazing too. You know I love you, baby. Because, you know, I can talk for forever, but what I like is a discourse is as exciting for me as shooting the shit with you guys. So yeah, that's it. I think we are done for today with Ani. Everyone can practice now Ani and say your name, Ani Nadia. And see you guys later. Bye.